Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so happy to have you here today, this afternoon. My name is John Shoemaker, as you've seen in previous videos. I am here with my colleague, Rebecca Smikla, who is going to take us through an introduction to Google Drive for us. Before we get started, as always, this is being recorded. It'll be live on YouTube right now and then recorded on our channel down below. You can hit the subscribe button and hit the bells to get the notifications. We are on a slight delay from the future, as Rebecca likes to say, so we will have a lot of moderators in the chat to help you out. We hope there is some audio, they're saying, so make sure your audio is on your computer. But we're here to help with that in any way we can. So with that, we're going to get started on Google Drive. Remember, the chat room is over there with our moderators. They have a little tiny wrench next to their name, so they can help out in any way that you have questions. Please feel free to ask any questions in the chat for us. So again, my name is John Shoemaker from the Department of Educational Technology. I am a specialist on that team.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Smikla, also a specialist on EdTech. Nice to see you.
Yep, so please feel free to follow us on Twitter, reach out to us by email, and we will also make sure that you get responses. If you can't hear, if anyone in the chat, can anyone say that they could hear, just so we can make sure? I'm seeing a lot of people saying they can't hear. Can we be louder? I am as loud as I can be. Okay, I'm hearing, so I'm going to keep going. If you can't hear, restart, refresh, whatever. So we're going to start off by talking about the G Suite for education. We currently subscribe to G Suite, which is how you use your email. But in addition to email, Google has a lot of different things that are possible inside of that little tiny box, the app switcher in the top right corner. So these are just some of the things that you have access to. So you have contacts, so you can see who people are in the district. Contacts are also awesome now because you can search people and see who they are, where they work, and some more details about them. We have Google Calendar. There's Google Keep, which is like digital sticky notes. Then we also have Google Classroom, which we've already done sessions on for you guys. Google Hangouts is that text chatting that you can get inside of your email feature. We talked about Google Meet 2 days ago, and that's on video. And today we're talking about Google Drive. So Google Drive is actually a mix of products. It actually contains quite a few things in there. So someone's missing my black cat in the background. So the Google Drive suite includes Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, Forms, Drawings, and Sites. We are going to give you a very high-level overview of Google Drive, but we asked in the survey that we posted which apps that you really want us to do webinars on and go deeper in. So we can do a deep dive into Docs, we can do a deep dive into Sheets, whatever you're looking for. So please make sure you complete that survey at least once, and we will work that out. So what is Google Drive? I like to explain Google Drive as your flash drive in the sky. You have an unlimited flash drive in the sky, like a filing cabinet, where you can put folders and any file up there. Everything that you do up there is saved automatically. It can be any file type that you share. You can upload it from anywhere. It can be from an iPhone, an Android, an iPad, any tablet, laptops. It allows you to have permissioning so that some people can edit, some people can comment. You can look at the version history to make sure who was actually editing that document. So it has a lot of amazing benefits. And as I say, our domain allows us to have unlimited space. We're going to review a lot of these slides in depth, and this will be on our website so you can look at it at a deeper dive. But the navigation is really important. Google is always updating. It could update today and features change. So for example, on the left-hand side, you see priority, my drive shared with me. Those are your main navigation chunks. And Rebecca's really gonna explain to you the difference between shared with me and my drive, because that's a really confusing section to look at. There's also a trash, but as I always say, there's really no reason to trash anything because we have unlimited space. So across the top, you have your search, you have your share, but it's also important to know that you can right-click on things and it'll give you even more information. When you click the new button, over on the left-hand side, a menu appears and shows you all the different things you can do. There's also this little more that sometimes people miss, but these are some of the things you can do. You have Google Docs, which is like Word. You have spreadsheets like Excel, presentations like PowerPoint. So if you understand those apps from the Microsoft suite, then you'll understand how to do things here. You also have Google Forms, drawings, and you can even make your own websites. One of the biggest things, though, is talking about permissioning. So permissioning is how you want people to discover that file. Most people understand this a little bit, but it's important. This chart really helps you understand all of the different types of ownership. So if you make the document, you become the owner. You can do whatever you want with that file. You can give it to editors who can also do the same thing you do. Or you can have people so they can only comment, which means you have this great document, you want your colleagues to add their feedback, they can add a comment to that and share with you. And then there's view only, which literally all it is this is like a published document, no one can comment, no one can edit it. It's also important to know that you can switch ownership. So you may have experienced before a colleague who retired or left the district and had some Google Docs stuff in their drive that shared with you, and then poof, you can't find it anymore. The reason is because when they leave, their documents go away. So what you can do is change ownership as well. So that means that if the colleague is leaving, they can make you the owner of the document, so when they leave, that document is still there. One last thing to point out is the search is really important. Remember, we're talking about Google here, who is all about searching, right? That's their main topic. So the advanced search really has some great ways to drill down. Rebecca's going to explain some of them and demo those as well, but just know that there are a lot of great opportunities there. So let's say you know that you got an email from your principal. You could type in your principal's name next to owner, and all of their Google Docs or whatever will come there. Same thing in mail. I said mail, but in Drive as well, you can search by the owner. You can search by words. You know you got something last week, you can do that as well. So with that, we're going to go live. We're going to switch to Rebecca, who is going to share how to actually do this and demo this. So go ahead, Rebecca.
Thank you, John. Okay, so we are in My Drive right now, and we're going to go in the same order that we went with John. So we're going to start with navigation. So if you look across the top, you're going to see a couple of different things. You have a support icon here, so if you need some help, you can get it just by clicking into the support. The gear, as in all Google features, is going to be your settings. And then right here, you can switch your view. So right now, I'm in list view, but if I click this button, then that's going to take me into grid view. I personally am a fan of list view because it gives you a little bit more information, including who's the owner, when that was last opened. So that's the one I like. Also over here is a view details. So right now, if I click that, there's not going to be anything to see. I'm going to actually have to click onto a folder. And once I click onto the folder, I can see who the owner is, when it was modified, when it was last opened. But I can also see all of the activity that has happened in my folder. So this can be interesting. You can see who's been in your folder. There's Mike. He's been checking on some sheets. There's John. So you can see all the activity inside of any of your folders. Additionally, when you click on a folder or a document, you're going to get other icons. So you're going to see a way to get a shareable link. So if I wanted to share this entire folder with someone, I could do that by clicking there. I can also share it with a particular person. And I can remove it if I wanted to, but as John said, you have unlimited storage, so not necessary. And then anytime you see the three dots, you're going to have more actions. So I can open this folder. I can move this folder to organize it. So let's say you don't have folders right now, but you have, let's say, 20 different documents that all should be in a folder. You can easily click on each of those documents and move them into the folder. This is one of my starred folders. If I wanted to, I could remove this from starred. I can also rename it. So if I don't want it to be ed tech, if I want it to be educational technology, I would just click there. You'll notice that many of my folders are color coded, and that is just an organizational tip that I use. So if you want to change the color of your folder from that gray, you can change it to any of these colors shown here. And you can also search within your folder and download. So we've taken care of everything over here on the right. Let's move to the left. So the new button is going to be where you create. We're going to come back to creation next. We're going to continue through navigation. The first, I guess, inbox, I'm not really quite sure how you call it. The first drive is called priority. And this is going to be things that you've opened recently. So my EdTech training website, the outline for our webinar today, some of the presentations I've been working on are going to be here. You can also create workspaces. So right now I have an IFP deployment workspace. I have my TechSafe workspace. I even have my coronavirus workspace. But you can create those. For today, we don't really have time to go into that. So we're going to stick mainly with Drive. Shared drives might be something you would want to use with your colleagues, your teammates, but because of our time limits, we're going to skip that today. We do want to point out, really important, the shared with me. So anytime your colleagues, your students share something with you, it's going to go into your shared with me. And we like to think of the shared with me as the Wild West. You can't organize it, you can't put it in folders. So if it's something that you really want, like maybe I want this Google Meet Hangout etiquette guide, right? I'm going to right click on that and I'm going to add it to my drive, okay? So I'll show that again. If you find something that's in your shared with me, I'm slow loading. I heard Google was broken today. I'm in the shared with me. And I'm going to, oh, I clicked that. That's what I did wrong. Hold, please. Well, I'll just grab this one anyway. And I'm going to move it to my drive. Okay, recent. If you've been working on things today, it's going to show you what you were working on today. And it's going to show you earlier this week. And it's just going to continue to go down. Anything that you star will show up in your starred folder. So remember, I said my EdTech folder was starred. It's going to be right here. This is important to not star everything. If you star everything, then it defeats the purpose of having a starred folder. Okay, I think we're good with that. Let's jump into Drive. And if you have any questions about navigation, please put them in the chat box. As John said, we're coming to you live from the future, so our moderators will answer your questions. So now we're going to move on to the second section, which is creation. So to create in your Google Drive, you go to click the New button. And I'm going to start by creating a folder. So I'm going to create my folder, and I'm going to name my folder Delete Me, because I want to delete this after this webinar. And if you notice, I put an asterisk in front of the Delete Me, and that's because Google organizes all of your folders in alphabetical order. So if you want your folders to appear at the top, then you can put a character in front of them, such as an asterisk. So I'm going to click Create, and we're going to see that folder pop up. There it is. Now I'm going to go into my folder, and I'm going to just click inside. And you'll notice there's nothing inside of this folder because I just created this brand new folder. So now I'm going to create a document inside the folder. I'm going to click New. I'm going to scroll down to Google Docs. And please be aware, Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, these all pretty much work the same. You would just click New and then click what type of document you want to create. And I'm going to name this Sample Doc. And if you notice, once you type into your document, if you come to the very top and click inside that box, it will title it for you. So I've created this document, and I want to share it with my colleague so John can help me with this document. So I'm going to now talk about permissions a little bit. So I'm going to go into the share. Notice when I scroll over share, it says private only to me, but now I'm going to click share, and I'm going to type in John Shoemaker, and I'm going to click John. Notice out to the right, the default is always going to be edit. If I only wanted John to comment, I could change that here, and I can view. I can also put in a note and say, hey, John, here's that document we talked about this morning. Can you help me? I'm going to go ahead and send this. And that way it says shared with one person. I know that it's shared. John's going to receive an email, and he's going to pop into the document really soon. But while we're waiting on John to do that, let's talk about some advanced share. So I'll go over here and click share. And let's say John and I, we've finished this document, right? We're going to click advanced. Don't ever be scared to click advanced. And then I'm going to say, I want to change this, that it's only shared with specific people. So now if I wanted this to be shared with all of my parents, all my students, anyone that doesn't have a palmbeachschools.org address, I would click anyone with the link. Once you click that, you're going to get some additional information down here. So access, what can they do? They can view. You could also give them comment access or edit access, but if you're putting it out for a lot of people, that would not be advisable. And then I can click save. Notice when you click save and you've made it a link that everyone can view, you can also have prevent any other editor. So I could prevent John from changing the access and adding new people. I could also disable any option to download, to print, or copy for commenters and viewers. So if I didn't want those who could just view to download this, I can click that button right there. Now I'm going to click done, and look, John is now in the document with me. And he is sharing some of his wonderful ideas. And if I just scroll over some of his text, you'll notice out to the right, a comment button appears. So I can say, great idea, John. And I can also press the plus button, and I could add other people to this conversation if I wanted to. So if I wanted to add Tasha to this conversation and ask what she thinks, I can click into Tasha. And then I can comment, and it's going to say, wait a second, you haven't shared with this document with Tasha before. What do you want her to be able to do? So Tasha's on my team. She's got good ideas. I want her to be able to edit this as well. And then I click comment. All right, so I think that we have talked about how to create the document, how to share the document with an individual person, or how to share it based on a link. We've talked about some permissioning, and we talked about commenting. I think we are good to go. We're going to jump back into Drive. Now we're going to talk about that search that John was talking about. So a lot of times people just click in the search and they just start typing, right? And it's going to give you some suggestions, and it's going to give me some people. So I get a lot of things from Tasha, so I can just click into that and see a lot of the things that she shared with me. I can also say, well, let's see spreadsheets. I'm probably going to see Mike pop up in this one. Yep, there he is. But let's get a little bit deeper in the search. If you go ahead and click Advanced Search, and remember we talked about how clicking Advanced in Google is a really good idea, we can click into Type. So we can see, do I remember if it was a spreadsheet or a presentation or a Google form? Was I the owner? Did I create it? Or if it wasn't owned by me, do I know who created it? And I could type in a specific person here. I can look in my location. So is it going to be in my drive, in the shared drive, and shared with me? And you can even go into specific folders by clicking into each of your folders. So I had folders nested in folders, so I could keep going and search just in that folder if I wanted to. When did I get this? Was it created this week, last week, in the last month? So I can search based on a time range. I can search based on the item name if I know that it's named Google Livestream document, then I can do that. If I know that it has the word Google in it and it has the word Trailblazer in it, I can put some key searches in there. Or if it's shared with someone, I can add that. So let's take a look at what this looks like. So I want to look for presentations, and I am the owner. I don't know where I put it, so I'm going to skip that. But I know I created this presentation in the last week, so I'm going to choose the last 7 days. And I'm going to go ahead and just search. So I have 3 criteria here. Let's see what I get. Maybe I'll have some results. Okay, so in the past week, I've had these 6 or 7 presentations. This is the one I was looking for, my Google Drive live stream, and I was able to find it using the advanced search. We have a lot of people on our team and out there in the world, I'm sure, that their drive is not organized. And that makes people a little bit crazy. Just know this advanced search is excellent. It's Google's at its finest, and you can pretty much find anything that you want in your drive. It's going to make it really easy if you don't have everything in folders and folders and folders like I do. So I kind of went through that pretty fast. Shu, what do you think? Anything from the chat box that we need to cover?
Yeah, I think that's great. Please feel free to ask us any questions that you may have. How does the link now? I'm a presenter. I'm trying to get some questions up here. Keep in mind that we just gave you the high level here. We didn't even dig into all the different features of doc sheets and slides. We are going to be doing a Google Forms training at 2:30, where you can learn how to use forms and dive deeper into that. One thing too, Rebecca, will you click on the shared with me, please?
Sure.
You had the quick access in Drive, but I also like that Google added this in Drive now. I use it often. Up at the top there, do you see where it's actually starting to link people? So Google's trying to learn your workflows. So, you know, Rebecca's been working with Mike, me, David, and Kim often, and they're showing like the files that they think that maybe Rebecca wants some access to right now. So I think that's a pretty cool feature, and it's getting smarter as I've been paying attention to it.
Yeah, I had not noticed that quick access was available and shared with me before. Thank you for pointing that out, Shu. We do know that it is always available in Drive, so these are the things that you've touched recently, but the things that others have shared with you, that's really pretty cool. So if I wanted to, I could go in and right-click these documents. So Dr. Atwell sent me a principal's guide. I'm going to definitely want to add that to my Drive. So remember, you right-click on anything and share it with me, and then you can move it to your Drive. That one's already in my Drive. There we go. There we go. Add to Drive. That's the one you're looking for if it's not already in your Drive. And notice then you can organize that. So right now, if I wanted to, I can move that to a folder of my choice. It doesn't have to just go in your Drive into La La Land. Eventually it might pop up.
Yeah, well, Google's definitely having some crazy fun issues right now.
Yeah.
As it's going up, the question is the best way to reorganize or organize your Drive. I didn't mention this on the search screen, but my Drive is a hot mess. I get stuff shared with me so much, and there's just too much in there for me. I just use the search, honestly. I go in there. I'm pretty good at remembering what things are called or who sent it to me. So I honestly use the search. Folders are obviously a great way. Rebecca, did you actually share your little tip with your emoji or no?
I didn't, but I can. I also use emojis for folders that I use quite frequently, and that way they jump out. And using an emoji works the same way as using a special character. It puts it at the top of your drive. So like for ed tech, I have a computer. For my IFPs, I have a monitor. For these resources, I have a rocket ship. So I use it. I find, brain pop, I have the brain, it's kind of funny. But that's just a way that it jumps out at me. I did want to point out too, because I didn't talk about this when we were talking about navigation, but when you click that arrow down for your drive, then all of your folders start populating. And I can then click into each one of those folders and see all the folders that I have nested inside of it. And if you see the person, then that folder is a shared folder.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't see the person, then that folder is private to you. So then I could even go even further into all of our resources for today. So you can just see the trail as all of the folders that are nested inside of the folder. So my advice for organization is nesting folders, like start off high level, and then all of the major projects that are inside of that would go inside of that folder. And that kind of minimizes at least your landing page.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I don't have a lot of folders, because I do.
Yeah.
And then Google and some other companies are going to create folders for you. So when you have Classroom, you're going to get a folder that's automatically created for you in Classroom, and all of your classes will go in it, and all of your students' assignments, they'll all be in that Classroom folder. So they help you with your organization as well. Same thing for the Meet recordings. When you start recording your Google Meets, you're going to get the folder that Google's going to create for you called Meet Recordings. Same thing with your, if you're doing Smart SLSO, they automatically create a folder for you as well. Our databases like Gale, if you save things from the databases, they create folders for you. So Google's really helpful in getting you organized. You just kind of have to organize yourself with all of your documents. But like she said, if you're not organized and now's not really the time to do it, you probably have your mind on other things. Just use that search feature.
And some people always ask how to get emojis. Rebecca actually uses an extension for emojis, which I think is really great. It's actually hard to get emojis into, chat and stuff, but you can actually paste emojis into forms. Like the forms that we shared with you guys on the Google Classroom one for attendance, they actually have emojis in them. Like the one is breakfast, the one for bed, the one on how you're feeling. So Rebecca used an extension. I'm entering the name into that. I was going to enter the name in the chat. It's called Emoji Keyboard Extension for Chrome. Because of Google's issues, I keep getting kicked out of my live stream. So Google, it's called, all you have to do is search for Emoji Keyboard Extensions for Chrome, and you'll be able to find it. I saw a question here as well. It's important to address. The SIS does not track attendance in anything from Google. SIS is SIS. So you can take attendance with a form, but you still have to go to SIS for grades and for attendance. Those are required for you to do. And principals were given guidance on how often all of that should be done. So please reach out to your admins on how many times you're supposed to take attendance each week and how many grades you're supposed to put in each week. I'm gonna keep trying to look for, how can I save a folder from my documents? I'm guessing you're talking about your documents from work, that My Docs folder. Obviously right now you won't have access to that because you're not there. But when you go at work next time and you log into a district machine, you could drag your resources from your hard drive right into Google, and it'll change the screen to a drop zone, and you just let it go, and it'll work fine. I think it's kind of interesting to ask this question right now. Google has been a solid product for several years now. My guess is with all of the online learning, I'm guessing they're having hundreds of thousands of live video chats going on. We do expect it to be okay. But if for some reason there is an outage that you notice and it does impact your students, you can always extend due dates for things like that. You know, we are in a new era and we really need to just try being flexible. This one, Rebecca, is pretty easy to demo if you don't mind.
Oh, no problem. So let's go back to the delete me folder that I created earlier, right? And right now, it's loading. All that I have in there is a document, right? But I'm inside the folder. I can see my bread trail across the top, my drive, delete me. So all I have to do is click new and folder. And so I'm just going to call this new folder. I can't spell today. And click create. And now my folder is going to show up. So if sample document actually needed to be a new folder inside of delete me, I can just grab it and drag it in.
So it works just like your hard drive on your computer. You can drag and drop things into folders. You can build folders inside of folders. And now she has the caret beside the delete me on the left side. So she can expand out all the way on the left, all the way on the left, all the way on the left, and in your trail on the left.
Sorry.
In your list, yeah. So she has that caret now. So see, it'll drop down and she'll show the new folder. Maybe if Google's going to cooperate.
Maybe.
Yeah, it is there. We promise. Again, Google's having a little issues right now.
Yeah, you can see the trail across the top.
Yeah.
If I went into the new folder, oh, there it goes.
There we go. It's just taking some time. So if another teacher shares with me, how do you put them in your drive? Again, you would go to the shared with me where it's shared.
Hold on, let me get down. Shared with me.
And then let's just say it's any of those things. All you have to do is right click it and say add to my drive. Now it's in your drive.
It's showing me things that I've already put in my drive.
Yeah.
That's one of the issues.
If you sort by date, maybe sort by date on the right side.
Oh, that's a good idea. And
then it'll show like maybe not all that stuff. There you go, last modified. You do have those as well just to change it. No, it's weird.
Last opened by me, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, it's having some issues.
So add to my drive. That's what you want. If it doesn't say add to my drive, it's already in your drive.
Yep, so. Exactly. One thing I was also going to show, let me see if I can find an easy one here. When you're in a document too, so let's say someone shared this document with me, then at the top, it's going to load. Okay, at the top, I have a star here. I'm going to try to zoom in and let's see if this is going to work. There we go. Yes, it does. Okay, I have the star, but then I also have the move. The move allows me to now decide where I want to put it in my drive. So when you're actually inside any doc, sheet, or slide, I can move it to any folder I want to. Click move here, and that's another easy way to organize your documents inside of your drive. We answered the cute little emojis. Any other questions that you might have for us? There's lots of people in the chat as well. One thing that we were asking earlier, if you did not fill out the stream yet, please feel free to go ahead and fill out our stream for topics for the future. We would love to know ideas that you have in the future to do more of these live streams and get it out there. We also want to review the training site. Do you want to talk? Did you have something, Rebecca? Sorry.
I saw a comment that someone had said that they would like an I do, we do webinar, and really wanted to provide you with that as well. Unfortunately, we are on a delay when we're recording, so it kind of makes that a little bit more challenging, but we're going to try to work through that. Yeah.
And you can always replay this and pause it. Like you can go through that as well. So our website is edtechtraining.palmbeachschools.org. Really easy to remember. It's nice and red. You can't miss it. You probably got here, as I said earlier, through our calendar. One secret little tip I put underneath is you can actually add this calendar to your own calendar by clicking that nice little blue button right there. And then you will have our full calendar right inside of your Google Calendar as well. We have a link to our YouTube channel. And then the resources for everything will show up here in the top right corner. So we'll be making the Drive resources available very soon. That site will go live soon. So keep checking back. Please feel free to reach out to any of the people on the EdTech team. Whoops. I did share, I will apologize. I did share last time also our contacts. We have all of our EdTech team here to help you. The other thing I said is we're currently getting a lot of email. So please feel free to email multiple of us in one email, and the first person that can respond will respond to you. That's been a good way for us to help you out as well. Otherwise, we thank you for joining us. At 2:30, we will go over an in-depth with Google Forms. So don't forget to join us then. Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you.